From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Pape, and this is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science, all in under 5 minutes. Japan consistently ranks as one of the healthiest nations in the world, with a life expectancy that often exceeds 85 years. But what's their secret? While factors like universal healthcare and cultural attitudes toward aging might play a role, Japan's approach to nutrition, especially its school lunch programs, might give you a lesson on what's happening. We're going to take a closer look at what makes Japan's dietary habits unique and whether these can be transferable to your own life if they make sense to incorporate yourself. Japanese school lunches are an example of what we call nutrition education, where they're put in action by a government agency. Whether you support that kind of thing or not, it's great to see the experiments and what comes of them. The meals that they make are crafted by professional nutritionists, and they have to meet certain standards in Japan. So a typical lunch might include a carb source like rice or soba noodles, a protein like grilled fish, chicken, or tofu, fresh or pickled vegetables for some nutrients like vitamins, minerals, fiber, a small portion of fruit for natural sweetness, and then a bowl of miso soup rich in probiotics and umami flavors. And side tangent, I went to Japan more than 20 years ago. And my first lunch that I had there, I was working at Toshiba, and everybody ate in the cafeteria in the same place. They served me this box. I don't know if it's a bento box or what it's called, but it was a wooden box, very beautiful, cherry wood. And inside was grilled eel, which I'd never had before. Let me tell you, I became a fan. I also had rice. I had miso soup. It was a lot of what they were talking about here. Anyway, processed foods and sugary drinks are absent from these meals. And anybody who grew up in the U.S. knows we had the juice boxes, right? We had cookies. You had the pizza and the hamburger that didn't really taste like those things in our school lunches. But in Japan, the meals prioritize fresh seasonal ingredients that are locally sourced when possible. And then the schools themselves, they teach children about things like portion control, food variety, the cultural significance of eating together. So there are a lot of interesting positives about what they do. What's remarkable about this program, the school lunch program, is the actual impact it's had. The balanced eating habits instilled in childhood carry into adulthood based on the studies, and many Japanese adults continue to eat meals that are centered on whole foods and have smaller portion sizes. Again, when I went to Japan, I did eat at a McDonald's there, and everything was smaller. The largest drink they had would be like a super small over here. And that practice has been linked to lower rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. Basically, we're talking about the environment, the food environment, which makes a lot of intuitive sense when you think about it. One feature of Japanese meals is they focus on portion control. They're served on smaller plates or bowls. They encourage natural moderation. Just eat till you're full. You listen to your hunger signals. We're not giving you twice as much food as you need on the plate where you feel like you have to eat it. And that gives you a satisfying dining experience. Again, from my personal experience out there, we would eat the you'd have a small bit of lots of different foods. So you'd get a lot of variety and taste, but you'd feel very satisfied both physiologically and psychologically, and you really haven't eaten a whole lot. Now, while replacing, or I should say replicating Japan's system might not be realistic, here's some things that you personally can adopt. Number one, prioritizing whole, minimally processed foods, more fresh vegetables, whole grains, lean meats into your meals, or lean proteins, I should say. Emphasizing balance, a variety of macros, carbs, protein, fat in each meal. Don't demonize any one of those. Don't demonize fat. Don't demonize carbs. A mix of colors, a mix of textures, lots of diversity of fiber-containing foods as well. And then practice this portion mindfulness. This could be a helpful technique for you, using smaller plates or pre-portioning your meals, using meal prep, pre-logging, weighing your food ahead of time. Those all can be helpful tools. They don't make you obsessive. They give you mindfulness and awareness. And it's not just about what the Japanese eat, it's also how they live. Physical activities woven into daily life, walking, cycling, other activities. I was joking with my kids. I showed them a YouTube video of how they do the morning exercises every day across the whole country. It's been on radio for decades, and now they have it online as well. Social connections are also prioritized. Meals are often communal, and it reinforces bonds, encourages mindfulness. We know that social connection is the number one cause of happiness and longevity, so they've got something here, folks. Okay? So a lot of this may just inspire you, if nothing else. just know that no one approach works for everyone. I know some people are against the government like mandating these things. For Japan, it's deeply part of their culture. It's been there for years. It's interesting to observe and learn from. And I think there are definitely some positives there, independent of what you feel about, the government being involved in school lunch programs and all of that. Try to be objective about it. And then, of course, there's certain traditional Japanese foods that might have high sodium and might, soy sauce that you may not like or want in your diet or whatever. That's all beside the point. I think that the overall approach that they have as a country is pretty cool. It's a model of balance, variety, and I really like the mindfulness. And so if you can adopt just some of these, just looking at how it has helped an entire country, you can enhance your health and longevity and enjoy a more diverse, tasty, satisfying diet. All right. If you found this episode valuable, I'd be so grateful if you submit a rating in your podcast app, hopefully a 5-star rating if deserved. And then if you have an extra minute or two, please write a review on Apple Podcasts, because that will help us reach more listeners. We are a new show. We're trying to grow, and that would be so, so helpful. Tomorrow, we're going to explore the return of the carnivore diet and what it means for the future of vegan brands. Stay tuned for that.